maybe this question is not appropriate for me because I've not had much of sexual intercourse in my life. No, I've not even had at all.
You know how there are things we were told about sex? Things that sounded like truth until life made us question them. Maybe it was religion, maybe it was culture, maybe it was just vibes and peer pressure. On this episode of Nude Hour, we're getting into the real stuff, the sex stories we believed, the rules we followed without thinking, and the lies we had to unlearn. It's raw, it's honest, and it might make you rethink a few things too.
Hi everyone, my name is Boma Thompson.
My name is Alex.
My name is Ebube.
I'm Timothy Shafi.
My name is Noma Divine.
Musa Duluwa Fasasi.
My name is Okadibo Victor Shibuzo.
What's one belief about sex you've had to unlearn?
Okay, so growing up, I think I just thought that growing up I thought that sex was said to as something that you shouldn't have, but I felt like everybody knew that everybody was having it, right? Because I think I witnessed some people, like older people in my life, that I knew that they knew that it was wrong, but I also knew that they were engaging in it. So I just thought it was an open secret that every adult had, that even if you're not supposed to do it, you would be doing it, right? You would just not talk about it. So that's what I thought, and I had to unlearn that when I came into the faith.
So, one thing about sex that I've had to unlearn is that people in a relationship can actually have sex because they are emotionally connected. Now, the reason why I'm trying to be realistic here. I know the Bible is against it, but I'm trying to be realistic in the world we are in today. You know, it's actually something that is already, like, people see it as normal. So there was a period when, I'm not going to lie, there was a period when I also thought, okay, maybe this is normal because of everyone saying the same thing, and then I was like, okay, maybe these two people are in love, so they should be able to have sex. It's a way of, showing their emotional connection and all that. But then I've actually had to unlearn it, partly because of my relationship with God. Actually, that's actually what brought it to light to me, and then my church. But I think that's something I had to unlearn, because at some point it's wanted to start looking like a norm. To some people it's still a norm, but it's something I've had to unlearn anyways.
I did not used to think sex for Jack before. It used to be like a casual thing for me. Yeah, it's as well just like I get to know someone, and if we are vibing, if we are physically attracted to each other, then at some point sex was bound to happen. So I would say I had to understand that there's a deeper meaning to it, and it's more than just physical attraction. It's way more than just physical attraction. The fact that I'm attracted to you physically does not mean we should sleep with each other. So that's it for me. That's the biggest that I've gotten to learn about sex.
One belief I had to know is that the other party doesn't need to be experienced. I had that belief that if I'm inexperienced, the other party has to be experienced, so that he can teach me and we can know what to do. But now I know that that's false, and the other party doesn't need to be experienced.
I believe you shouldn't promise your partner or whoever it is, your opposite sex, affection and love, right, when you don't really mean it. Like, you're just saying it under the guise of you want to have your way with them. Because you want to have your way, you shouldn't just say things that you don't mean, things that are not you don't genuinely mean them. Don't say it to the person, you understand? So I feel if you want to have sex with the person, I feel it's best you let them know, you understand? I mean, you guys are both adults, and there's something you call consent, and it should be consensual, right? If you feel this is how you feel towards this person, it's on a ground of attraction and nothing more. You let the person know. Do you understand? Rather than trying to have sex and just ditch now.
Okay, pause. What do you think? What is a belief about sex you had to unlearn? Let's hear it in the comments. No judgment, just real talk. And hey, if you're feeling this conversation, hit that subscribe button. Let's get back to the episode.
So we are in a world that rejects premarital sex as a sin. And yes, religiously, it is a sin. We all know that it's a sin. But as an adult, when you grow and then you see yourself living by the flesh, like people say, you tend to question yourself afterwards. This is what most people call post-nut clarity. So you question yourself, oh, okay, was I actually supposed to do this? Was I? You carry it with shame, something you have to hide. You start asking yourself some certain questions just after you have had sex, and then later on you go back to do the same thing. To answer your question, it would be to not fault yourself about sex or not feel bad about it. If you have attained that age where you get to have sex, I don't think it's something to be ashamed of, especially to the ladies. I don't think it's something to be ashamed of. Neither is it something to go about publicly screaming, oh, I've had sex. If you have done it, you have done it. Move on to the next thing. I mean,
you don't have to do it. I know that it has kind of been normalized in a sense that if you don't have sex, it feels like you're missing a lot. I mean, I'm not saying sex is not good or anything, but the reason sex was created was for the purpose of marriage. When you get into a marriage, so it's supposed to be between your husband and your wife. Sorry, between a man and a woman, but somehow it's as if you're not having sex in this generation, you're not enjoying, or you're not in the reigning team. I'm using myself as an example. I remember in school when people be talking about, you don't know what you're missing. You're not missing anything, my darling, because I will stop there.
Maybe this question is not appropriate for me because I've not had much of sexual intercourse in my life. No, I've not even had at all. so I may be the wrong person to answer this question. However, something that has been on my mind recently is single guys of faith and agile, very, okay guys, let me put it like that. How are they doing? That's the question that I had. How are they doing? I mean, like, you're in your 20s, 24, 25, you don't have a girlfriend, you're not sleeping around, you're not, engaging in what we call friends with benefits, you're not doing all of that. Basically, you're not engaging in coitus. So, how are you doing? Basically, how are you managing this phase of your life, and with all the biological, predispositions that come with your being? So I know that doesn't answer the question, but that's the question that I have. So how have you been? Maybe you can drop it in the comment section.
That's it for this episode of Nude Hour. The goal? To strip back the noise and sit with what is real. So if you felt seen, challenged, or just curious, like, share, and subscribe. We're just getting started. See you in the next episode.